Arxivar also offers you a business process management system with a workflow designer that allows you to define all kinds of processes, to be able to transform static information into active flows. Here, you can easily design how your information flows and what it will do in your organization. With Arxivar Workflow Modeler, it's very easy to design a process. We mainly have to deal with 3 elements. These are the tasks, the links, and the routing points. With the tasks, we will set actions that need some sort of interaction with people. The links let us define the options to complete a task. Then, using the routing points, we can decide to change the path of the process accordingly with some rules. Now, we will go through each of these elements to see how easy it is to create a process. Let's say that in our company, we want to manage all the requests for quotation to be more reactive and to control this important process. So, we have defined that as soon as we receive a request for a quotation, this will be sent to the sales manager. Then, he can decide to either proceed directly with the creation of the offer or refuse it. Or if he has some doubt about the customer or the request, he can ask for a more detailed check. After the creation of the offer, we have defined that it has to be approved. This can be done by the CEO or the sales manager, according to a rule that defines which path we have to follow. Let's start from the beginning. The process starts as soon as we receive a new request, and we defined that we will forward it to the sales manager. For every workflow elements, we can set properties. In the task, we have to define the name and a brief description. In this case, we're asking the sales manager to check the request and select a salesman to follow it. Insert any useful notes. Some information may also be taken from the profile of the incoming request. Then, we have to define the duration, which is how much time it should take to complete this task and who will do it. In this case, the sales manager is an alias to an internal user that has been set up in the main settings. The executor of a task can be 1 or more people. We can send it to a group asking for someone to take charge, or we can select users from a list. In the Activity tab, we can set other options, such as asking the sales manager to select who will be the salesman that will create the offer. In this case, we'll ask the Select Someone from the Sales Department, which again is a group set up in the main settings. As soon as we complete the task, we will be prompted with the options defined by the links. We can go directly to the creation of the offer or request a more detailed check. In this case, the workflow will be split into 2 different parallel tasks with 2 different people in charge that both have to complete their tasks to be able to proceed to the next step. In the task, we can also define automatic actions that can be activated after a desired time. For example, we can send an email to the sales manager 1 hour before the task ends to tell him that the task is approaching the end, or send an email 1 hour after to remind him that the task has expired. With the automatic actions, we can also change the task operator. For example, if we forget to do something, we can decide to send the task to someone else. We can also automatically advance the task. Tacit consent. If we don't take any action, Arxivar will automatically advance the task. Also, the links have properties. We set a name and 1 or more options like check out the files or run a nested workflow. We can organize the documents, inserting and removing them from a folder and/or a binder, change the document type or convert it into PDF. We can send these documents by email, by fax, or send an SMTP notification. We are also able to read and write variables from other systems, getting information from your ERP. We can read or write information directly to a table, or pass through a web service. We can even run some commands directly from the link. In the task named Creation of the Offer, we have defined that the executor should be someone from the sales department. But who? The one who was selected in the previous step by the sales manager. We also asked the executor to create a new offer, inserting a new document taken from the file system that might be created with your ERP system. We can add a new document from a scanner or create it using a company template. Of course, we can automatically set some information. For example, we would like to map the recipient of the offer with a customer name that was read from the sender of the quotation request. After the creation of the offer, we have to decide who will approve it. Inside the routing point, we check a variable inserted during the creation of the offer and decide that if the offer value is greater than €10,000, it will follow the link Approve and it will go to the CEO approval. Otherwise, we just need the sales manager's approval. As you can see, it's very easy to define any kind of process. Just to show you how easy it is to edit a workflow, let's add a new task here to let the CEO or the sales manager ask for some changes to the offer. We create a new task and insert a name. Set the task duration and send it to the same salesman that created the offer. Once we have created the new task, we add the links and name them. Very easily, we just gave the sales manager and/or the CEO the option to send the offer back to the salesman to be changed. Now, we just link the task back to the routing point to be able to proceed with a new approval. As you can see, we have just changed how the company will work. From now on, our company has a new option during the creation of the offer that allows us to change the offer. To run a workflow process, you need to create an event. Let's see how to set it. In our case, we run the process as soon as we change or create the document type, quotation request, but you can also run it manually by a defined user or any user, like a leave request. We can start it when we change the version of a document, like the revision of the quality manual, that has to be checked by the members involved in the quality management, when we change the status of the document, or when it expires. On all documents, we can define an expiration date and run a process as soon as it expires. This option lets you manage deadlines like insurances or contracts. Okay, so let's go to our system and let me simulate how to receive a new quotation request. We are searching for documents and we change the type of one of these to quotation request and change some information about it. As soon as we save it, Arxivar recognizes that we have received a new quotation request and runs the process. Then, the system will automatically notify us with a new task. I received the task because I said that I'm the sales manager. In the task window on my desktop, I now have a new row that tells me that I have a new thing to do. To start working on this task is very easy. Just double-click on the row and Arxivar will open the task window where we will find all the information we need to complete it. The mask is completely configurable, and we decided to see the brief description and the actions I have to complete. So now we have to select the salesman that will insert the offer. To do that, just double-click on the action and select the user from the sales department group. One of the most important parts of the task management is the instructions window. Here, we can show the user the instructions needed to correctly complete the task. This is like having the quality manual right on your desktop as soon as you need it. At the end of the task, we will have to choose between the 3 outcomes defined within the links. Let's choose to go directly to the creation of the offer. We can add some notes for the salesman who is going to receive the next task. After confirmation, the task disappears, and now it's automatically sent on the desktop of our colleague. In the real world, what usually happens is that after a couple of days, our customer will call us saying, 2 days ago I sent you a quotation request, but I didn't receive any offer. Can you please check? Since we are the sales manager, we just need to search for the quotation request coming from the customer. When we find it, we can see that there's this icon here. This means that this document has a workflow running on it, and we can easily ask Arxivar to open it so we can control it and see if anything has happened in the process and where the workflow is right now. Let's now log in with the salesman. He received a new task from the sales manager. Again, just double-click over the row to open your task manager. Now he knows that he has to create the offer following the sales manager's notes. He has the notes in front of him and the actions that tell him what to do. He will create the offer using a template. The system will prompt you with the pre-compiled profile. We just need to insert the subject. When we save it, Arxivar will automatically fill in the information of the template with the data from the profile. We just need to complete the offer and save it. The next required action will be to load the offer value, and our job is finished. We just complete the task and save it. Now, since the offer value is lower than €10,000, the task goes back to the sales manager according to the rule set in the routing point. If we go back to the sales manager user, you can see that he received a new task. But now, it's a different task. Now he has to approve the offer. To complete it, Arxivar takes all the information needed to the user. So now he has the documents, the request and the offer, the notes exchanged, and the history of the process. He has all the information needed to approve the offer on his desktop, and he can proceed with the approval. The process is finished.